Okay, so today I am joined again by Heather Standing, the boss lady, the grapless, you know what I mean? The submissionator.
Wow.
Welcome back, Heather.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Nice. And with you, you bring the upcoming Submission Underground 21.
21. Yes, I can't, even this morning I said we did 9 shows last year. 9. So we started the year at sub 12. Yeah.
I know. See, but what's weird is, right? I kind of feel it's kind of weird because you don't start in January, right? Which it's frustrating, but what I think the big thing about Submission last year was the fact that you started just before the UFC came back. So then you were hitting it every month, it seemed. And so you were always there.
Yeah.
Right? And so that was I feel that was the great thing, you know, because it's just like, awesome. We have this, man. We have Submission. And then we had 2 events in December. So it's just like, yes. Incredible. And then we get like, oh, by the way, guys, you have to wait till March. And like, yo, what are you doing? Right? What are you? No. We get 2 in December, and now we say, no, you can't do that. What the hell? That was kind of messed up.
I was okay with it from my everyone was celebrating about the 2nd March show, and for me I was like, no, or the 2nd December show rather.
No, you said the 2nd March show, so I'm saying
no,
Sunday
December.
And then what are we getting another one on Monday, Tuesday, like what?
No, I mean, that phone call was crazy, and Chael was like, I'm very serious, we're doing this again, and I'm like, okay. I made a little graphic that said, the Chael that stole Christmas,
I mean, to be honest, what it kind of says is Chael has work ethic. Heather, not so much. Heather a bit lazy. Heather don't want to do, a show in February, January, you know what I mean? Heather's just I need a break. I want a holiday.
No, I don't set the schedule. Otherwise, I would have done one already. Trust me. No, Chael sets the schedule with UFC Fight Pass. And I don't know what the reason is. Last year, we actually had a show in December. We usually do a late December show. And then we had one early February. It was like February 11th or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was early February. And then, of course, COVID hit. And then we did our next one late March. I don't know why we didn't have a February one this time, or January for that matter, but I didn't mind the break. It was a lot. In 7 days to do a 2nd show was a lot. So, especially with Christmas in the middle of that. I took out Christmas Day. I'm like, I'm not working on Christmas Day. I worked, but that's okay. I don't mind. You can't complain. It was awesome. It was such a good show too. So.
Oh man, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. It was just like, damn. But it's kind of funny with all of this because, the schedule you're kind of on is more old school, right? And I think it's just because we've been spoiled in the, especially last year, like the fact that it went every week. We were just like, okay, is this life now? I can deal with this.
No, definitely spoiled the fans. But I will say we're set to do 9 shows again this year. So, and maybe a 10th, I don't know. So, but you will see our shows running consecutively monthly, with the exception of September is what it is.
Okay.
September. So yeah, you're gonna see them every single month until Christmas. So yeah, he's keeping me busy. So it's like he gave me a little break, and then he's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay. I think we have some shows that are only like 3 weeks in between. So yeah, I'll take 3 weeks over 7 days. When we pulled that off in 7 days, I said, I don't know if I want this to be a precedence, but we did it. So,
And
especially because that was a Wednesday. That
yes.
was a Wednesday, and we had to deal with people like not being at work, people dealing with, you know, the holidays, you know, Christmas and New Year's and stuff. And yeah, it was crazy.
But that, I think that was the odd thing, because it was just like they're getting another show and be like, but we don't have another weekend. Like, what's how is this? Be like, midweek?
Wednesday. Midweek. Yeah, midweek. Yeah, it was weird. I was matchmaking the locals, and they're like, well, what time is it? Because I have to get off work early. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, yeah, okay, I get it, you know, I get it.
Yeah.
But we did it. Yeah, that was crazy. I was really proud of us. I was really proud of the fact that we pulled that off. But I mean, you know, Chill was like, I can't believe you pulled this off. And I said, did you not expect me to? Like, what was your backup plan? You know, like, if I don't pull it off, what do we do? You know, so I don't know if he thought he was gonna make a bunch of phone calls or what, but yeah.
Dana, I would have done it, but Heather, you know, Heather messed it up.
She didn't call me. You know? Yeah, exactly.
But we start 2021 with this card.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yeah. Are you liking it? Oh
my God. Like Richie Martinez, Mason Fowler. When I saw that fight, I was like, oh.
He deserves it, man. Richie Martinez deserves it.
I know, right? And the thing is, listen, Mason has show and proved. Yeah. Right? There was mad doubt at the beginning. I mean, not in the fact that is he any good, but it was just the whole, you know, the fight they had at AEC.
The controversy with
I can never remember the initials in the right order, but you know.
ADCC.
That's the please show me up. Thank you. All right, Emma. All right.
Sorry. Like, I know what you mean.
But yeah, so they had that fight, controversial. And then the first fight at submission, controversial.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, oh, what's that? But then he won the second fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Craig tapped. There was no controversy. He tapped. I mean, he physically tapped.
Yeah. So you can't deny it. Then he taps everyone else. You know, Wagner and
Vader and all that. Yeah.
So it's just like Mason's legit.
He is.
I can't go against Richie, man.
Right? Yeah.
Like the boogeyman. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to go. Yeah, I don't think Richie can, because Richie pulls some of the fights he's pulled out, and you're just like, whoa. You know what I mean?
I was actually worried we would get some backlash, because he did have that upset last year with Vanderford, and Vanderford's a purple belt. I think he's a brown belt now, but he was a purple belt at the time. And I was afraid I was gonna get some backlash about giving him the main event spot. And to be fair, Richie actually asked for Craig.
Oh, okay.
He asked for Craig Jones. And Craig, I think, had something else. He couldn't be on this card. But either way, I said, well, forget Craig. What about the champ? And he's like, oh, I thought I had to go through Craig first. And I said, no, you know, we'll put you up there, you know. And yeah, he was so, and I messaged Mason, and Mason was like, yes. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I wasn't asking, you're the champion, but but you know, he said yes, and he's excited. He has a lot of respect for Richie, and of course we all do. And he's really good people, obviously, both of them. And I'm stoked, because this is also another double championship show. Yes. So yeah.
I know, because you have Mason, you know, Craig before, and then now Mason, who are just dominating.
Yeah.
But Amanda Lewin, you know what I mean? If she's not your Amanda Nunes, I don't know who else is.
Right.
I don't know who else is. Like, Lewin is it. And the thing is, she has this, it's not quite Grace Gundan expression, but she don't give you much.
No, you know, she doesn't.
Give you much.
Chael always dreaded interviewing her because she's like, you know, he's like, congratulations, how was it? And you're like, okay, you know.
She's
very nonchalant, you know, about it. But I will say this, you know, because I had the same perception, we all do, you know, she's just very kind of like, you know, matter of fact, whatever, you know. When she won the belt against Felicia Spencer at SUG 19, I was around the curtain, you know, there's a curtain around the cage. I was around the curtain and I was watching the little TV screen, and I saw her just like emotionally like take in that moment. And I was like, yes, there's our champion. Like, yay, you know, you want something. I mean, you have a belt, for God's sakes, you want something. But a little trivia that people might not know, back at Submission Underground 1, the very first show, every winner of that show got a belt. Yeah, there was a bunch of belts. Like the belts that you see right now, and they're heavy, they're nice, they're pretty. And Chael was like Oprah Winfrey, like everyone gets a belt, you know? And then he was like, we shouldn't do that again. And I'm like, wait, you can't just give everyone a belt and then give them a medal, you know? And he says, yeah, we can. So Amanda got a belt like everybody else at Submission Underground 1. Well, then she headlined, I think it was Submission Underground 5 with Sarah Kaufman.
Yes.
And beat her, and then came back several other times. I mean, you know, she had Jessica I at one point, you know, Jillian Robertson. I mean, the names go on. And Roxy Modafferi, she is kind of a rescheduled match from COVID. She actually pulled out last March. Yeah, because of COVID.
Who replaced her? It was the
Jessica, I believe.
Was it Jessica? No, it was the
No, it wasn't girl. Jessica. I'm sorry.
That's not it. I just realized I was saying it's the other girl, but obviously it's a girl. Like
there's been Aaron Hurl, Felicia
Aaron Hurl. It was Aaron Hurl.
Was it Aaron Hurl for that show?
Yes.
See, now you're showing me up. See? She just keeps. She's kind of like the Ronda Rousey. She's knocking them off, you know, no big deal, you know, and
they're all legit. They're not, you know, just journey people that are getting
right. No, she's going against
Jillian Robertson has great jujitsu.
Yes, well, we saw that last show with Pearl, you know.
Exactly. So the fact that fight went that quick, it was just like, yo, damn. Because when Jillian got Pearl, it was just like, yo. You know what I mean? So it's just a bit like, but Amanda she shuts you down.
And in arm bars too. I mean, she's just been arm barring people. But Felicia, you know, came in, you know, so we don't do weigh-ins at Submission Underground. Chael doesn't believe in them, and he stopped doing weigh-ins when COVID hit. And he's like, you know what? I don't ask people's weight when I get a fight. I just show up, you know? And so he's kind of lived by that mentality. Some people are fine with it, some people are not. But you know, when it comes to Mason, he has the SUG Absolute Championship, and so that's open weight, you know. Yes. The women's championship, we don't put like a featherweight or something like that on there. But Amanda is she competes in MMA as a featherweight. And as sometimes as low as like bantamweight. And so she's always been smaller. Well, she had gone up a little bit, down a little bit, you know, women fluctuate, whatever.
Yeah.
So when we called up Felicia Spencer, she says, I'm not cutting weight for this. Like, you know, this is grappling, you know, it's not the UFC, blah, blah. And so we didn't have a scale. We didn't do a weight. They kind of had an agreed upon weight. But there was definitely a weight difference. You know, that was the first time that we really saw a significant weight difference in the cage was this last event. And of course it's for the title. And I know that Amanda was worried about that. And that might've had something to do also with her reaction, but of course, Roxy, Roxy's actually smaller. She, I think she competed recently for Fight to Win against Danielle Kelly, I think it was at a lower weight. So so Amanda might actually be the bigger of the two this time. What was that?
Roxy's fighting at flyweight now.
Right. So she's really gone down in weight. And there's kind of been a verbal agreement of a 140 weight catch weight for this one, which obviously is a little bit smaller than Amanda would usually do. But they're gonna do a weigh-in the night before. I told them that I would honor that. Sometimes those things happen behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but it's very rare. It's very rare that I'll do it. Usually it has to be something like this. Otherwise, it's like either show up and compete or don't, you know? Um, but I get it. I totally get it. The question is who gets, who's the next opponent if Amanda wins or if Roxanne's our new champion, who's that next person? And that's always the question I have. And as a little teaser for you, I'm told that the next show is going to be very heavy, full of women. So it's going to be a very heavily based female card. So that is something that has been requested. So
Okay.
I told Amanda if she wins, we have to have her back. And yeah, so.
I will say that the interesting thing I've noticed, right, because everyone talks about, female MMA and grappling and all of this. So you have Invicta, obviously.
Yes.
But then you look at the other promotions. So the UFC, you oftentimes get 3 women's fights on a card. Usually, it's usually at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4. But then you look at other promotions and there's sometimes just 1.
Yeah.
And you're just like, but you talk about having all of these women divisions, but if you're only ever putting 1 fight on,
yeah,
what's happening here?
Yeah.
So I always, it's always impressive when you get a promotion like yourself and you're putting on numerous women's fights within each show.
We certainly try. One of the hangups for us has been that we're trying to make it strictly black belts in the promotion. Now, granted, there's going to be some leeway with that when you get like the Vanderfords and you get like Ricky Simone's a brown belt, you get people like that. You make exceptions, Jessica I is not a black belt, obviously, etc. But we try to get that higher level of grappling. And I would love to put on more female matches, but a lot of the females that are approaching me are purple belts.
Right. Yeah.
And so we're trying to, it's a balancing act. We are fortunate that for this card, Liz and Kristen are both black belts. Liz Tracy, Kristen Mickelson, that's early on the card. That's the second match. Obviously we have Amanda and Roxanne as black belts, and then Jessica I and Alima McFarland. I'm so excited about that match too. Just so excited. Alima Lee has not, she said she hasn't competed in grappling. It's like, I think since 2017.
Well, yeah, but she won the first combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so she's, Bellator's,
and we haven't seen her since
Bellator's princess over there. So yeah, it's exciting. Well, for me as a fight fan, as an MMA fan, for me, it's like, ooh, Bellator versus UFC, That's my little geek out moment, but
a fight for potential fights for Amanda that could be fun, right? Mackenzie Dern.
Oh, everybody wants us to get Mackenzie Dern, and it's not. I think she's with ONE FC. Am I correct?
No. Mackenzie's UFC.
I knew that.
Yeah.
There's someone else I'm thinking of that's ONE FC. Miesha Tate.
Yes.
Yeah, Miesha Tate. People keep asking for Miesha Tate or Mackenzie Dern. Yeah. Mackenzie Dern would be great to get in the show. That's a fact. Yeah, she'd be a heck of a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. God damn, I had another name and now it's just gone.
Sorry.
if it comes back, I will do it. But I'm looking forward to that next card then to see.
Thank you.
What?
Yes.
Oh, the young lady who won the last combat jiu-jitsu of last year. She's Canadian, and I can't. And now I had it, and now the name's gone. But that would be a fun fight.
Gonna Google it. Yeah, her name.
I know she's.
She's been brought to our attention too, and I can't remember her name now.
Heavy.
Huh. Yeah, I've put out the question a few times about opponents for Amanda, because we really, the MMA swing of it is fun for us. Obviously, Chael really likes the MMA versus pure jiu-jitsu style participation, but but it'd be nice to see her in there with some really solid competition. I mean, Roxy's going to be a good test for her, definitely.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah,
That would definitely be an interesting fight. And
yeah.
we have tag team back.
Yes, yay. Yes, I'm excited. Well, Chael's been kind of rumbling at me a little bit for like 3 shows now. He's like, look, COVID restrictions are, lessening, and he really wanted to get tag team in there. In fact, it was approached a few shows ago to the Martinez brothers. So it didn't happen because the opposing team couldn't come together, and we moved on without it. But that would be fun to see in the future, is Gio and Richie in there for a team.
Because the last time I remember watching Gino was when he beat oh God, it's gonna be one of those ones today where I can't remember names. He used to be down with the
Death Squad.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But he beat him at
oh, was it Tunin?
Eddie Bravo International.
Yeah.
And in the Eddie Cummings.
Eddie Cummings, yes.
Yes, and he beat him in over, and it was just like, Eddie, that was incredible. I mean, that was the last time I've seen Gino. So, hey, the Martinez is against the Ryans. That would be fun as hell.
It would be very fun. Well, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. We haven't had Gio in our show yet. Yeah, we would like to. We definitely would like to. We've obviously became quite the fan girls over Richie. He's just wonderful people, great to work with. And we love having him in our show. But yeah, it'd be great to have Gio, and to introduce him in a tag team setting would be fantastic. To the promotion. But yeah, even individually, I'd be more than happy to have him in. But yeah, I'm super excited for tag team. I got messaged by John Simone once Chael said that he wanted tag team out loud. John Simone messaged me and he said, hey, me and Ricky are down, and they're cousins. Ricky obviously in the UFC, and they are local here. They're a local group, duo that I've actually worked with before. I worked with them back in 2013 at a very small gym smoker when we were doing tag team back then. And they were champions, and I forgot. I got a lot in here. And they reminded me, they're like, you did the poster. It was your show. I'm like, yeah, been a little while. Give me a break, but I'm getting older. But yeah, so they're well versed, not in our rule set per se, but it's it's a pretty similar situation. And of course, assuming that Mike is okay from his combat jiu-jitsu experience, he is our OG of tag team, and so he'll be back with he's bringing in a guy named Willie Adifre. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but he's out of Tucson, 10th Planet, and just a character. He has been making inappropriate memes ever since it got announced.
Okay. Because what does the CFC stand for?
GFC.
Oh,
Gentlemen's Fight Club. So Mike Courier owns Impact Jiu-Jitsu, Fountain Hills, Arizona, and Willie is with 10th Planet Tucson, and they want to represent their sponsor, which is Gentlemen's Fight Club. So I told them, I said, I can't put all of that for your gym name. So I said, they're Team ATT, and he goes, well, we're Team GFC. And I said, perfect. We only have so much to work with on the pay-per-view, So yeah.
That's good, because I've been racking my brain trying to work it out, and I'm thinking, why is it so hard? What could it be?
Yeah. Well, and they'll have shirts that have the logo and stuff on it. It'll make sense. But yeah. Gentlemen's Fight Club.
Awesome.
We like to throw in brain teasers like that. We don't have any. We have no gi. We don't have any gi matches on this card. We were aiming at one of them, and it ended up turning into a no gi, which is the opener with Aaron Teagues and Andrew Seidlinger. But that's okay. We try to do gi matches just like we try to do female matches, and sometimes it does not work out. So
yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
But the Andy Varla Ishii fight.
Oh,
Woo!
Andy Varela. Yeah, he I've been like such a fan of Andy ever since we brought him in at sub 15 for the 10K tournament.
Mm.
And of course, he lost that. He did not, Mason won. But we liked his style. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
But he's also a jujitsu guy, and that's like Chael's favorite, I swear, because they're entertainers. They're entertainers by nature with the MMA side. And then, if they're great at jujitsu, then that's just fabulous. But and he's got a huge fan base. People love watching him compete because he's a little different. And he had lost to Hunter Colvin. We brought him back, I think, sub 17, and he lost to Hunter. But then he came back again, I think 18, 19, and 20.
Mm.
He's on a three match win streak. And this last time he took out Ben Agley, which was one of our local guys. That's an amazing black belt that we honestly didn't think, well, I figured it was going to be a very hard match for him. I shouldn't say I didn't think he was going to win. I just thought it was going to be a very hard match for him.
Well, yeah, it wasn't going to be like it was.
Right. And he, he took out Ben and then had the audacity to yell on the camera that he wanted tougher competition. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And Chael texted me and said, if he wants tougher competition, tell me he's going up against Ishii at the next one. And I was like, okay. So I told him and he goes, okay. And he says, what's the weight? And I said, it's open. Main card is open weight, and he said okay. And Chael said, if he, Chael says I keep calling him Andy Varela a star, and he's like, if Andy's our new star, then let's see what he's got. Chael gets ornery sometimes, with it, and he said, he goes, if he can take out Ishii, then we have something to talk about. And I was like, okay, we've already seen him with Mason in the 10K tournament, so. But yeah, I like Andy a lot. I think win or lose, he's a phenomenal athlete to watch compete. And at the end of the day, we have a job to entertain as much as we also have a job to have great matches. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. When I saw that fight, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes. Oh, the last show or the show before that we had Gonzaga and Colvin. That was crazy.
Man. Yeah, that was.
People thought I was being mean. People thought I was being mean to Hunter. And I said, no. Gonzaga commented on our Instagram post saying, I want on. And Hunter commented and said, I want to be his opponent. I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah. And Chael, of course, Chael was like, hell yeah, let's do it. He loves a good story, So.
Yeah, no, we've just had some great fights lately.
Yeah. Hunter did a great job with that too. I mean, he may have lost, but he did a great job with it. So.
Yeah.
He didn't make it easy, put it that way.
Yeah, I saw the poster for the Liz Tracy, Kristen Nicholson fight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how long is Liz Tracy's tongue?
Right?
Just like, what the hell?
She does that in every picture that she can. And so I wasn't going to put it on there. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am. That's who she is. That's how people know her, But yeah, it should be considered like another limb. I mean,
what I mean? Is she gonna use that with a rear naked? Like, what the hell?
We're gonna have to change our rules and everything. Nope. No, that should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. Kristen Mickelson was brought in by Ishii. And he spoke highly of her. She's a black belt. And, obviously she competed for us on short notice with Rita at our last show of the year.
Yes.
And that was it. We ended up making, I think that was our like female match of the year. It was just so good. And it was no disrespect to Amanda, but it was just that good, So Amanda just keeps making her matches look easy.
No, that's the thing. As I said, she's like your Amanda Nunes,
Yeah,
right? It's just like, what's happening?
yeah,
It's hard to think who can give her a great challenge,
yeah, yeah,
right? So I mean, that's going to be the thing to see. But
yeah.
Don Stoner, Phil Swartz. Oh, that's another
Ah,
fun one.
yeah. It's yeah. So Don Stoner, he's the guy that will say yes to anybody, right? He's the guy that just wants to compete.
Hmm.
He's a black belt. He cross trains over at American Top Team in Portland. And he just wants to get in there and put on a show. And he's got a little bit of a, and I don't know if it's for show. I'm not sure. I can't tell because he never puts it towards me, but he's got a little chip on his shoulder, a little attitude, if you will.
Right, right.
You know, and he kind of talks a little game to his opponents. It's a nice word for, you know, the other one, but you know, and it's very interesting to me, but he also has lost some recently because he will take on anybody.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of caused him to take a pause and say, you know, okay, I should probably be a little bit more picky about my opponents. I'm like, you know, but Phil asked for him. Phil Schwartz asked for Don. He asked for a couple people, and Don was one of his people that he asked for. And I said, okay. And Don has been slowly losing weight. He kind of started out in the promotion, I think, I want to say 180s or 190s, and he's down to competing at around 155.
Okay.
Yeah, he's cut down quite a bit, which is also a game changer because, you know, big boys compete differently than the smaller ones, and so that's probably an adjustment for him as well. But you know, it's just
yeah,
the heavyweight game is different.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. But when you're used to being a heavyweight and you cut down to the smaller weights, you learn quick, you know, that you got to change your game style a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be slightly different fighting, you know, Rumble Johnson and Ricky Simone.
Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah, you learn to distribute your weight differently. So that'll be interesting to see. Phil's a game opponent. Obviously, he's the head coach of 10th Planet Portland and black belt for a while under Nathan Orchard. So
yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, and they both fought at Combat Jiu-Jitsu last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got one of the Alexander brothers.
One of the what? What was that?
Andrew Alexander.
Yes. He is a SUG vet, man. He's also that guy that will take on anybody, anytime. And he calls out people. I remember after like Submission Underground 3 or 4, he would not stop harassing me about Chad Mendes. You know? I'm like, I mean, and I guess that's how you get your shot, right? That's how you get your shot. You just got to keep, you know, you got to name these names. And finally, he got tired of harassing me, and he got a hold of Chael somehow and started harassing him too. And but Chael loves him. Chael's, you know, he calls him AA, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but he does, and he does. He calls him AA. Chael will shorten everything. He abbreviates everything. A little tidbit about Chael. My name is Heather. My mom named me that so people couldn't shorten my name. The man calls me Heath. I'm not joking with you. It drives. I tell my mom just to irritate her, but like, yeah, he calls me Heath, and she's like, he calls you what? But yeah, no. So Chael calls Andrew Alexander AA, and I think it was last year that Mason Fowler brought in one of his teammates with the initials KK, and he called him KK, called him Double K. Okay, Chael. That's who I deal with all the time, Kevin. That's who I deal with.
Man.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be awesome.
So with this, like, how many people like ask, and how many are just like, yo, just put me on the card?
I have a lot of people that will ask me. They'll ask how they can apply, and it's on our website, cagepromotions.com. But I have people that think that they should talk to me differently. And I'll get messages that say, me versus so and so, make it happen. And I'm like, I'll get right on that, you know. Make it happen is like the statement that is like the biggest thorn in my side. I'm like, unless you're writing me a paycheck, I'm not making anything happen for you. You know? I have enough from jail of make it happen, you know. We're gonna have a show in 6 days, Heather, make it happen, you know. Okay. Your name's on my check.
But a little nicety, you kind of think, especially with the matchmaker, that's someone that you want on in your corner.
You would think like, so, you know. You'd be surprised at some of the tactics of these guys. This one guy went online and was talking all sorts of crap about how I don't know how to matchmake, and then he wanted to be on the show, and I'm like, no. There's like a certain pettiness that's like, no. Oh, I mean, it's not, no one has to kiss my ass or anything like that. It's not even that at all. It's just like, just be nice, just be polite, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just manners.
Yeah, right? Just manners, exactly.
Because, you know,
like, would you talk to Rich Choi like that, or Mick Maynard like that, or Sean Shelby? No.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, right? I think there's definitely that, right? Yeah. People think, oh, unless if it's not the top tier, if it's not the UFC, then we're just gonna act this way. Yep. And you see it with sometimes in fighters' preparation and just all of this stuff, like the weight cuts and you think like, yo, you need to change that shit. You need to go into every situation with how you would be in the top, right? Because you don't want to get into bad habits. Right. And you see too many people with these bad ass habits. Right. And it's just, it's weird. Like, you don't have to be people's friends to be cordial and polite.
Well, and that's just it. It's like, you know, just be polite. I mean, I don't want to work with you. I mean, if you're not, I mean, Chael put me in a position because apparently I'm good enough to do it, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, he's got way more patience and tolerance than I do. Way more. Way more. I'll tell him like, no, I'm not booking so and so, and he'd be like, okay, and then he'll ask me like a week later, are you gonna book them? I'm like, okay, fine, but you're dealing with them, you know. No, I think I've only had one person that I told him that I would not work for him ever again if he booked them, and that was Phil Baroni. Never again. Right. Like that would be the game changer of leaving the company. Like, no, that was hard. But I probably shouldn't have said that name out loud, but it's okay.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
You know,
like you kind of think, but this is the thing, right? You act in a certain way, it's allowed to be called out.
Yeah.
Right? It's not to say that you can't then change who you are and the way you behave, but you acted like it, it's gonna get talked about.
My job does not include babysitting to the level of some of the required, you know, and I can appreciate an athlete that has a gimmick. Obviously my boss does, for God's sake, you know. But I don't tolerate disrespect though. I just don't. I can't, you know, I can't do that. So
yeah, no.
But luckily people are chill. I mean, the jiu-jitsu community is great. People, you know, and the MMA fighters are great too. I mean, they're all, you know, super polite. They all want to get paid, you know. They want to compete, you know, and we're trying to do that. So it's a good give and take. So
yes. So are we gonna see the bands on people, the colored bands on people's ankles?
I don't know. So that's kind of funny that you said that, because I messaged Kevin, who is the other owner, and he's the announcer in the cage that you see in the announcer. And he does a lot of the logistics behind the scenes. And I messaged him yesterday and I told him, I said, you know, we changed our rules after the last tag team fiasco. You know, after that, we changed our rules. There won't be any $25,000 this time, or any Craig Jones or what was his name, Kyle Bame in there. Yeah, people cringed when we said tag team was coming back. They're like, no. I'm like, no, it's okay. Tag team, we're gonna make tag team great again. But But we actually changed our rules to where we have to have one of the teammates be in the cage in the corner with a 6-inch rope, so they can hang on to that to lean out, whatever. And that shit, I think we're gonna try and make sure that's colored for red and blue. But no, the whole idea is that they're gonna have matching outfits. The teammates will have matching outfits. I don't know if we're gonna do the wristband things. It's up to the referee, I suppose, but I don't know. It's good for some people to kind of keep track of who's who, but I know we had talked at one time about doing uniforms like Quintet does, where everyone's the same color uniform, and it's just like, that's a lot of apparel to buy.
There is that.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that the guys can get their sponsors involved. I mean, we're not UFC; they can have sponsors and all that jazz, on their clothes. So yeah, as long as it's appropriate.
I wonder if, because do people get most sponsors on the rash guard or the shorts?
I would say mostly on the shorts, because usually on the rash guard it's just one. It's across the chest and then across the back or something. But on the shorts, they'll put them across their butt, on their thighs, on the sides. It's, for some reason they like them on the shorts for the most part, the logos. So yeah.
It could maybe just a standard, submission underground top.
Yeah, well, so it's funny because we've never made our own apparel ever. I've done a couple runoffs with I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that, because there was actually a shirt that was made right at the beginning that says "submit" across it in white letters, which, by the way, is a horrible shirt for a girl to wear. Just a black shirt that says "submit" in white. I'm like, can we put something else that would indicate what that means? I bought it. I bought the dang shirt. But I bought a Submission Underground shirt. I did. But no, I did, it was the first or second winter that we had the shows. I did a couple of one-offs of hoodies, like zip-up hoodies, and people wanted them. People were like, "How can I get one?" I said, I just did a direct print one-off. But I actually made a Sug Island shirt too. I'm gonna wear that one this week or next weekend, but yeah, people like that one too, so it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. It's all neon, as palm trees and everything. There's no palm trees in Oregon, just for the record. There's no palm trees. Unless they're put in by people. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, where are the islands in
there's been people that have flown in and they're like, "Is it really on an island?" I'm like, no, it'll disappoint you how much it's not on an island. It looks nothing like an island. No. But what's funny is that some people don't realize, and it's hilarious, so.
Do they not listen to Chael?
I started calling it Sug Island because when the UFC Fight Island came out, I was like, you know what, we can have our own island too, because people kept asking us, "Where's your show? Where's your show?" And we don't tell people where our show is, we just don't. And so we started saying, I think Chael told everybody that he was, what did he say? He was in a water tower or something, the first show that we did in COVID. I can't remember what he said, but
I think he said it's silo.
Oh yeah, silent. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not gonna tell you that it wasn't in an asylum, but it wasn't on an island either. So we'll just say that. I don't want to tell you that Chael lied or anything.
No, don't.
Never. That man speaks the truth at all times. Yeah, he's
right. So with this card, right, we're bringing tag teams back. We got 2 title fights.
Yeah.
Is this what we can look forward to the rest of the year? Are we getting any new exciting things you're going to be adding?
I don't know. People keep asking us about combat jujitsu. That's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. If ever, that requires a lot more for Oregon's rules and regulations to do.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't yet. But I say yet because who knows? You know, I don't know. I know that we're going to do more tag team, assuming that this one goes well. We're going to do more. I don't know if we'll ever do the thing that we did with the last one, but I'm hoping. I actually had inquired to Chael about doing a women's tournament like what we did with Craig, you know, the 10K tournament. And maybe I said that out loud. Maybe that's something I should talk to him about for this next show, actually, because it's women heavy. So yeah, maybe I should bring that up again. But that's something that I talked about doing. Tag team obviously was a big thing to bring back. I don't know, you know, every once in a while I get surprised by Chael with stuff that we're doing, like a show in 6 days, and you know, we just do it. And sometimes we get these amazing names that we've never had before, like Cerrone and Dos Anjos in the cage, and
that was so much fun.
With
and
the
fact that they got played back.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that because I keep on getting in trouble for saying it was an instant replay, which I feel like it was. But they said it was basically an extension of the first match because all sorts of odds makers were upset. Like the betting lines, they were upset. They're like, what would have happened if Dos Anjos won the second time, you know?
No, but he didn't.
And I'm like, I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. I don't deal with the betting lines. I don't know. But yeah, they're like, you can't do that. It's like, yeah. But yeah, Cerrone and Dos Anjos put on a hell of a show. That was so cool. And
yeah.
So you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, at this point I just tell people just stick around and wait because you never know.
I think the fun thing was because no one knew, right? The fight ended.
I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know.
And all we had was Chael be like, oh wait, I think Ryan's telling me. Well, yeah. They're saying they want to do it. They're happy to do it again. But no, I don't think we should do that. But wait, what is it? I don't know. I think it's down to the referee. And it's like, wait, people, we're getting and we're like, what?
I literally, I hand out the checks after the show. Like after each match, I meet up with the competitors and hand out the money. And Mason just competed with
Beta.
It was Ishii for that one.
Oh yes,
Ishii,
it was
yeah. I'm like, those two shows blur together so much. But it was Ishii, and I went to go out to pay them, and Kevin looks at me and he says, "Hey, do you know what's going on?" And I'm like, "No." And he says, "We're running back, Cerrone and Dos Anjos." And I said, "What?" And he's like, "We're running back." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys need to tell me." And I'm like, I'm on social media, like, that's all, folks, you know. And Chael was like telling everybody, hold on, you know. And so yeah, I didn't even know. But I'm like, we're doing what?
It was a great Steve Jobs moment.
Yeah. Like, hold on. Dale loves that. He loves that stuff. It's so funny, but no, it's very cool. I'm excited. I really enjoy my job and the company and just everybody involved. It makes it so much fun, and it's going to be exciting to be back at work. I've been needing it. I've actually been bored the first 2 months of the year. I've been bored out of my mind. So I'm like, I need my job back, you know? But, yeah.
Are you doing more wrestling underground?
That's the hope. I mean, we had hoped to do another Wrestling Underground in December, and that didn't happen. I hope so. I know there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that I don't have any part in, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the hope. Wrestling Underground, Kevin especially, that's kind of his baby. He loves the wrestling. He's a wrestling coach here locally. And so for him, that's like a big deal. And it was very successful. People loved it. It was a really great show. I really enjoyed it myself. You know, I'm a wrestling fan as well. And so, yeah, I'm hopeful, but I think there's some talk with UFC Fight Pass about it. So. Gotta make all the fine print happen. You know. So yeah, I don't get involved in the fine print. I just want the big one. So yeah, hopefully.
Awesome. So before we go, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of things that I saw. Well, one big thing I saw before jumping on this.
Yeah.
Gordon Ryan signed with One. He's made that transition to MMA.
Yeah.
Right? The big, I think everyone suspected it would happen at some point, but it was just like, when?
I didn't think he would, honestly, because I mean he's dominating so much. I mean, he's the dominator, right? In jiu-jitsu, you know. You know, it's that's a risky thing. I mean, I don't know if I think Gordon being at the level that he is, and I totally understand it, is that you get bored after a while. You know, when you've beaten who you consider the best of the best in your biggest competition, and then you start beating the guys that they've beaten to get to you, you know, I mean, you're probably bored, you know. And so for him, he's such a young guy already anyway, to take on a new avenue of that sport already and then be such a stud on the ground with it. I mean, it makes sense, you know. I mean, if you're bored and you want to try it out, I mean, and I'm sure the money is great, you know, why not? I actually told Vinny Magalesh earlier today, about an hour ago, actually, hour and a half, something like that. I told him that he should welcome Gordon to the MMA world. I literally just texted him that like an hour and a half ago. I actually sent him the screenshot of the notification about Gordon sign with One. I said, Vinny, you should welcome him to MMA.
But Vinny's tied up with PFL though, isn't he? Is he?
For MMA, probably. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. There was just rumors about Vinny grappling Gordon at some point, and I said, well, forget grappling, you know. So yeah.
I know. I kind of figured, because it seemed a lot of people were turning down that Ryan fight. Yeah. So I was a bit like, after a while, it just seemed, with so many people turning down the fights or saying our fight, but then, our fight for 2 million, and you know what I mean, putting a price like as
well, and to an extent, if you are being propositioned to go against someone like Gordon Ryan, you would expect the payday to be something of significance, you know. And so as a matchmaker, you want to find somebody who's willing to fight anybody, including Gordon Ryan, you know, at a price that you're comfortable with. And that's a hard parallel to find sometimes, because people know that it, you know, going against Gordon is, I mean, it's kind of like, what was it McGregor said? It's the red panty night fight, you know. It's like, you know, it's like this is, you know, and I think Gordon said something the other day about, you know, if you go against me, I'll make you famous, but I'll also end your career, basically, you know. And I think he was referencing Wagner Rocha on that one, but it's you know, the jiu-jitsu world is very entertaining to me because I'm an MMA fan, and so to see the whole you know, people call jiu-jitsu matches like fights and stuff, I get confused. I'm like, what? It's not a fight, you know.
I know it is kind of like, because when I think sometimes when you're watching it and feeling like, oh, what fight's next, and you're like, I know that's not right, is it? No, it's
match. But I get it, you know. I mean, it's well, in that combat jiu-jitsu.
I mean, combat, that's a fight.
Yeah, this whole time I thought, honestly, like before Mike's match yesterday or whatever, I thought it was like just slapping somebody. And I'm like, if you guys want to play patty cake, then like go do it somewhere else, you know. But he was like just bam, bam. I'm like,
oh, don't you remember it was God damn, I feel it was Wagner Rocha against, I want to say Nathan Orchard, but I might be wrong.
I want to say it was AJ against Nathan Orchard.
Was it AJ?
I want to say it was somebody went against Nathan Orchard and knocked him out, I believe, with strikes. Yeah.
And I think that was on because they got to the final of the first combat jiu-jitsu worlds, and because I think some people are just throwing a slap like that, but it's that Bas Rutten slap. People are like, wow, and that's when people have, you can see, oh, they've been training.
Yeah.
They get that sound and like, pow, pow, pow. You'd be like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
It was like this. I was ready to go to Kansas, not the Terror Dome. What are you doing?
Yeah. No, it's wicked. I mean, the fact that they're drawing blood like that is insane. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's to me, I was always kind of like, if you want to fight, then fight, and if you want to do jujitsu, then do jujitsu. But this combat jujitsu thing, it's a different dynamic, but
I think what it does, because you have some people that are like, killing in jujitsu, but kind of who can I fight next, and
yeah.
add the money and all of this. So and then it'd be like, oh, you could go to MMA. You're like, I don't know about taking a punch to the face, right? So
Right, yeah.
this is that middle ground, so you can go, all right, let me see how this feels, right? And it's going to ease you in. You know what I mean?
And I believe it was Craig Jones that said that his brother was an MMA fighter, and he started out wanting to do MMA, and then decided that he prefers jiu-jitsu for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But Mason Fowler was MMA, or he fought in MMA. So did Richie. So I mean, there's a lot of the guys that we have in our show have done MMA in the past, and yeah, it would be fun. It'd be a fun dynamic. Actually, what's funny is that Craig and Mason have both asked to do Wrestling Underground.
Oh.
So yeah. I mean, and Mason has that wrestling background. I don't know what Craig's background is in it, but he wanted to do it as well.
So would they go against each other, or go against like with submission against?
I'm sure if Chael could make that happen, he would. So but I mean, probably not at first. I mean, probably it would be against other people at first, but I mean, it'd be really cool to bring in some of these like world-renowned wrestlers, at that level, to go up against, the jiu-jitsu guys when it's a wrestling game. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, Aljamain did it recently. He did that wrestling match against that dude, and supposedly it was crazy close.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be super fun to see things.
Chael's always on a mission to see who the best of the best is in whatever sport that entails. So it's, this will be interesting with Gordon, like you said, going over to one. So I'll be curious to see. One FC doesn't play very nicely with any other promotions as far as cross promoting. So I'll be curious how that works out with Gordon's contract that he currently holds. I mean, I know that one of the reasons we haven't gotten Misha Tate over is because of one FC, and same thing with Gary Toonen. We would like to have had back too, but that was also a hang up. So I don't know if it's going to restrict him to the point that he cares. I mean, he has enough money and he's down in Puerto Rico now, so who knows? I know, right? He might be just sitting pretty enough to say, I want to try this, and the money is what it is. And yeah, I mean, who knows? So yeah. I mean, he's taken out, the best in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I'm trying to think of, I would imagine that Flo is in the same position that we are sometimes with Amanda, of like, well, who's really next, Who's really going to give her that, challenge. So I imagine that's an ongoing problem with Gordon.
Yeah. So. Well, because you see people calling for the fight and then not taking the fight. Or as Chael often will say, when someone's like, I'll fight anyone, be like, okay, would you fight this person? Yeah, 20 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's just like, you know that no one's ever going to give you the money, but you can be like, I'll fight anyone. And
well, it's the same thing with the slap match between Gordon and who was it, with the Atos guy, Andre?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to see that, who's paying for that, who's paying for that? I know Andre wants some money for that, so rightfully so, though. Whoever gets that match, if it ever happens, I mean, the views will be crazy. I mean, but you kind of already saw the fight go down,
I know. I mean, it's just a bit like, is it going to be any different?
You're right. God. Right.
Oh man. But
I think I'd be curious to see if Wagner does anything with Gordon. Like, it's not a combat match, so I'll be curious. I mean, Wagner's significantly smaller, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it's funny because I just remember that first time we saw Ryan, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I think he was replacing, I think it was Gary was injured. So the Eddie Bravo International, I think Gary was
Mm-hmm.
injured. So it was just like, oh, and I'm filling in for Gary Tonin is one of his teammates, Gordon Ryan. And you just have this scrawny
Yeah.
dude. This
Oh my
scrawny
gosh,
dude.
yeah. It was like Sug 3 or something, Sug 3 or 4 that he was at our event. And the pictures of him back then and now are so different. So different. I mean,
Yeah,
he made Gary look big. He made Gary Toonan look big next to him, you know, and
I
it's just
know. And now he's just like, Hulk fight.
yeah. Hulk smash. Yeah, exactly.
Hulk
Exactly.
moved to tropical island.
Yeah. But you know, he's a promoter's dream. I mean, he's what's changing the game with some, you know, to his credit. I mean, not only is he phenomenal at what he does, but to his credit, he's changing the game. I mean, he is doing something that a lot of people are trying to do, which is make jiu-jitsu mainstream enough that it's recognized on the level that UFC is recognized on and stuff like that. So
yeah, he is kind of like the jiu-jitsu Henry Cejudo, right? Because
exactly.
you want
Yeah.
to people want to moan about it, but it's like, who was talking about that division before Cejudo? Cejudo saved that division. You know
Well,
what I mean?
and you could even say that shows like WNO, whatever, were in essence created because of Gordon, you know, people like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stars in this sport, but he definitely obviously has the overreach, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. This has
Yeah.
been a lot of fun, Heather. I really
Thank
appreciate
you. Likewise, it's always fun chatting with you. I apologize for delaying you a few times.
you know, it's life. Had to wait till the end of March for an event. Had to wait, you know, days, weeks,
Not my
hours for a
fault, man.
conversation. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, I was like, hey, chill. Like, you know, can we have a show? Like, I'm bored. Yeah, no, I know. No, these next few months are gonna go crazy though. It's just like I said, it's back to back to back. So we're doing it. And who knows? I mean, I can't even say if we're only doing 9 because we might end up doing a 10th for all. So yeah. But
Hey, whatever happens, we're in it for the ride.
definitely.
Definitely
It's gonna
looking
be
forward to
fun.
the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
Me
looking
too.
forward to the next. So I mean, hey, if you have time, let's do this again and talk about
Yes.
yeah, we'll break down that card.
Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it, Kevin.
No worries at all. Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, we will look forward to Sunday and these
Yes.
incredible fights. So
Yes.
yeah,
UFC Fight Pass.
yes. At what time?
3 p.m. Pacific Standard, 6 p.m. Eastern. So
Awesome.
I don't know anything beyond that. People are always asking me the different time zones. I'm like, I don't know. Check your UFC Fight Pass schedule.
Yeah, I always assume that, like, you know, submission and combat, that they're going at UFC times. So I come at like 1 a.m, like my time, and then we're just like, oh, it happened.
Oh no.
But it's Fight Pass, so I could just still watch
Yeah.
it. But I'm just like,
That's true. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know. I didn't realize it was earlier. Okay, but fine.
The fact that people are watching chill at 1 a.m. is boggles me, but you know.
Hey, lockdown insomnia. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. The schedule's a little different.
Yes. But yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, and
Thank you.
get to work on that next fight card.
I am. Females need to hit me up. We need to do this. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But
awesome. All right.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Enjoy your day, Eva.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.